Tesla finished up today a penny. I thought it was going to finish at exactly 0.000, but it got at the very end, it went up to 1 cent. It followed the swings in the market pretty much, except it started off ahead and then it followed the market. So it ended up outperforming the market, which was down today. And we're going to talk about Tesla, the stock, in a little bit because we always want to know what Nicholas Gibbs thinks about what's going on with the stock, especially on the charts and the technical stuff. We're going to talk about the merger for sure. But first, I wanted to compliment Nicholas Gibbs. I caught a video he did on Sunday night. And he said, don't panic, people. I think that's exactly what he said, because he says that. Don't panic, people. He says, the dismal results that you're seeing right now, you didn't use dismal, that would be a word I would use. The results that you're seeing overnight, it's not, we're probably going to end up in the green on Monday. And then we did. What I want to know is, did you do a show last night predicting that today we would go in the toilet?
No. Hey, everyone gets clock strikes twice, right? No, I didn't do anything last night. I'll tell you what though, Sunday night was looking brutal.
Yeah,
Just looked really brutal.
it did.
I mean, today, even today, today was an interesting.
Yeah.
It's just all this whipsawing,
Yeah.
I don't, you hope no one got caught or did anything too silly with any of like their Tesla shares. But I have to wonder, from 428 down to a low 413 today, how many people just panic sold just to see it rip right back up and end up flat?
Right.
I hope the answer is zero, but you have to wonder, like, if you could just see the stats on what happened today, who sold and who bought at the end.
Who bought?
That would be
right.
interesting.
Yeah. Well, if I had dry powder and it was sitting around today, I probably would have bought it for 13, but I don't. So, we'll wait. Some dry powder coming in this month, in fact. So I'm looking forward to kind of timing my entry. Yeah. First time in a long time I've had a few bucks to throw at Tesla. Well, okay.
Yeah, throw it down the drain. No, just kidding. Just kidding.
Well, okay. So, first of all, before I get into the rest of the story right now, I just want to tell people, you may not have heard this yet. I've written another book. In fact, I'm doing the final read on it right now. It should be done by Sunday. And I have a Chinese partner, a Chinese publisher, approached me and was willing to pay me upfront money to write a new Elon Musk biography.
Oh.
So I have the Elon Musk Magic, which will come out about March 1st in terms of the public. That goes with mission and method, right? Mission, magic. And anyway, what I'm asking people to do, though, I need 500 people to sign up to be part of the launch team. And I've got in 3 days, in 2.5 days, I've got 61. So thank you to all the people that have already signed up. But I do need 500. So I need more people to go to RandyKirk77 at gmail.com and sign up. Just say, hey, I'm in, Randy. I'd be happy to help you out. It's going to cost you $3 because you're going to have to buy the book. If you sign up on the launch team, it's because you're going to buy the book between now and March 1st. So if you got $3 and you don't mind spending it on Randy, then hit up the email. And the email is down below in, of course, the information.
Yeah, and we'll wait to continue this episode until you guys have done that.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, put it on pause.
We'll be waiting.
Okay, all right.
Well, I'm assuming they did it. So let's get back to it.
So Walter Bloomberg, who I'm assuming is not any relation to the Bloomberg, he goes by Delta One. He says Tesla, SpaceX, XAI merger valuation details. He says CNBC's Faber reported that SpaceX is valued between $859 billion and $1.26 trillion, while XAI is valued at $219 billion or up to as much as $294 billion. The exchange ratio is 0.1433. Just that's new today. And that with XAI priced at $75.46 and SpaceX at $526.59, that's how it's all worked out. Now then, thousands of words have been written today, Nicholas, and yesterday, the day before, thousands of words. And so many more spoken on programs like this. But I'm sure that after you've watched all that back and forth and probably read a lot of it and seen a lot of it, you probably have developed a few ideas of your own. What do you think is going to happen? What do you think should happen going forward?
That's a good question. I was on with Herbert and Hans on Friday because we had earnings call, so we didn't do our normal Wednesday. And on that, I was saying that I don't think that Tesla and SpaceX are going to merge. My opinion at the time was that this was more like just IPO rumor mill kind of thing, getting people excited, potential kind of thing. So I didn't think much of it. It's like, maybe one day. But lo and behold, later on that evening, the All In podcast came out with a new episode. And maybe I heard what I wanted to hear and I'm reading too much into it. But the way Jason and Chamath were acting and talking about it kind of sounded like, oh, this is happening. So I put a post on X, it's just like, oh, it's happening. Like this is happening. Like I read their body language and the way they were acting to mean that. It was like they're like, we don't know anything. We're just speculating. It's just I don't know, but I don't know. I think it would be a lot more complicated than the X merger. But at the same time, I did not think that X merger would happen that fast. That was fast.
Fast.
That has to be one of the fastest mergers of all time.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess there's not much negotiation. Elon, would you like to merge? I don't know, Elon. Would you like to merge? Yeah, Elon, I would love to. Great, Elon. Let's do it. I mean, imagine something like that.
Why they called Ron Barron?
Maybe. Do it. Yeah, do it. First in, last out. Yeah. But so, I hope it happens, to be honest. I think it would be great. I think it makes a lot of sense as far as removing entropy and friction from the inevitability that they are all going to have to work more and more together. It just makes sense. It's one of those things where 1 + 1 = 3. And we know Tesla's using Grok, right? Grok or XAI is going to inevitably use data from Tesla. Optimus will need Grok. Grok will need Optimus. Obviously, SpaceX will need solar and batteries and Optimus. Yeah, so like you can just see, and SpaceX and Tesla already have a kind of collaborative materials engineering team department. We saw that Tesla engineers, whenever Elon acquired Twitter, that they were in there side by side with the Twitter engineers going through code reviews. So the amount of collaboration crossover already is insane. And when they do that, a lot of these things have to be on the up and up.
Mm-hmm.
Like it has to be very clear, and like the paper trail has to be there. Did you pay for the services for the company, all that stuff? And it just creates entropy. And I remember there's lawsuits threatened against Tesla for the engineers going over working at Twitter and not, there's just a lot of drama. So I think it makes sense. All the pieces are kind of intertwined. What kind of confuses me though, like I guess one of the things that I see that makes me think like that originally made me think, I don't think this is happening. Because if they were all three going to merge, then what was the point of Tesla investing $2 billion into X? Like I haven't figured that out. My best steel man for that is it was happening already. The
Mhm.
wheels already in the were in motion. You're not just gonna stop that when like that's just a waste of time. Like, all right, let's gonna go through whatever. We'll talk about in the earnings call. Uh, but in the meantime, let's focus on this because now we have this new idea about XYZ. So the wheels for the investment might have been in December, early January, and they might have not even thought about going public with SpaceX, or maybe they thought we could go public. Well, what if we did this instead? And that could happen mid January. So we don't know the timeline. So it could make sense, but then I feel like I'm stretching. So I can't think of another rationale unless there's something to do with the math and the number. So that's where I'm at. And I'd be curious to hear where you're at.
Well, in general, I'm 100% in favor for all the reasons you mentioned. I'm 100% in favor of it because I think that it would make it easier for Elon to manage, one company, even though all the parts would still be there, it would be one company. I think it will increase the valuation because a public company generally
Oh, for
is
sure.
going to be worth more than a private company. Um,
Well, not just that, but like I said, 1 + 1 = 3.
right, right,
It's it's we've seen that it's like this microphone with this cable and this computer and the camera independently, they're kind of useless.
yeah,
But combined together, and you and me here, like now we have something that's you know bigger than its individual parts.
right, right,
So they're valuable on their own, but together there's something more beautiful that comes out of it.
right,
So like you got to respect each piece, of course, and it's got it carries its own weight, but as
right.
a whole, right? So with SpaceX, and Tesla, like just imagine how much faster they could work.
Yeah, I think there's no doubt about it. And so then the biggest question that I'm actually seeing online, I mean, there's, yeah, I know his name. Cern Basher did a very
Mm.
nice piece that I actually did a whole show on it, where he talked about some of the potential, pitfalls. And, there's regulatory issues. There's other countries that might be concerned, like China, when they are not 100% sure about the data and Starlink and stuff like that. Um, so I see that there could be some much bigger issues in the merger with Tesla and SpaceX. I think that's why they did the little one first. This is something that could really make a lot of sense immediately, and it can be done, like you said. Uh, I see it a little differently than you. I know you were joking, but basically, all the players on both of those companies are the same.
Hmm.
People that invested in one have invested in the other. I mean, not 100%, but by and large. So again, you call BlackRock and you call Ron Barron, you call a few people, and they're like, "Yeah, sounds like a good idea. Yeah, that valuation sounds fine to me." And they just do it. But getting a public company, well, now it'll be two public companies, and getting the two public companies to do a merger, now you're getting a lot more complications. Even though, again, a lot of the players will be the same. But you've got a lot of retail investors that are not in SpaceX or in XAI. So it gets more complicated.
Yeah, I think if it happens, it has to happen like Q2 latest,
Two,
like
two,
Q2
oh, Q2 of this year?
Q2. Yes,
Wait,
I
wait,
think
wait.
it has to.
Really? Before the merger of X and XAI? I'm
That's
sorry.
over. That's already happened.
No, but it's a merger, but I'm sorry, before the IPO. That's what I'm asking.
Yes, I think it has to happen before the IPO.
It's not going to happen before the IPO.
I think it has to.
Wow.
If it's gonna happen, I think it's gonna happen. It has to happen before midterms.
How do they get the vote of the shareholders of Tesla?
I mean, you could just call an emergency meeting. I mean, like, I don't think there's a rule that says you can only vote once a year.
Oh, no, no, no. You could call, I don't know all the details, but I'm pretty sure you can call it the emergency board meeting. And I'm sure you have to give X number of days of notice, but there's probably enough. If they did it soon, I'm sure they can do that. Okay, so you're on a different page than me on that one. I figured that it was gonna take a year, to put this one together.
I think the problem is if they wait and if they wait, this might create some issues with politics.
Hmm. With the November election.
Yeah.
I see. Okay. All right. So, but all of the information that we've already been told that I just read to you is about the two companies merging, and then the IPO, and the IPO amount's been talked about, et cetera, et cetera. Obviously, if Tesla ends up in there, that changes all of that.
I mean, do we act? I mean, maybe I missed it today, but do we actually know specifically that the IPO is happening, like a date or a like? What do we know?
According to my sources, and I'm pretty sure they're public. Sometimes I have a little bit of information that, isn't public, but I'm pretty sure this is public. Elon Musk has said he wants it to happen on his birthday, and he isn't kidding. So,
But
yeah, so
yeah,
that could always change. He could say, "Oh, whoops, because of this and this, we'll do it in August or whatever." But he stated he wants it on his birthday, and it's not negotiable. Now, that could also be one of his, I want to get it done by a certain day to get everybody to move fast. That's a possibility, but I'm hearing that
yeah,
he's very clear that he wants it to happen that day.
yeah. I mean, I don't know. I'm not saying that can't happen, but do we know? Like, there's nothing saying that right now. We know SpaceX is going to IPO on that date.
We don't know for sure. No,
All we know is that SpaceX merged
merged.
with
Right.
XAI or acquired or whatever you want to call it,
Mhm.
and we know that they have these firms working with them, but we haven't. You correct me. I don't think we've seen any official IPO announcement or anything.
Oh, no,
For
no.
all we know, this is all that this was going to be, and that's it.
There's no. I think what we have is Elon responding to texts. I mean, I'm sorry, to stuff on X,
Post. Yeah.
indicating that, yeah, that's what it's going to be or whatever. And I don't think the 1.5 million valuations and that kind of stuff are just coming out of thin air. The $50 billion of capital raise.
No, I'm not saying I think that's coming out of thin air, but I look, you don't know, you don't know, and
No,
let's not just presume that this is a SpaceX IPO. This
okay,
could be
yeah.
a
Oh,
Musk company's IPO. Just saying.
okay. So let me just play the devil's advocate. I hate to do anything that has the word devil in it, but anyway, except eggs. I do like deviled eggs. So
Aren't they the best? They just are. You could eat so many of them. Yeah, you just
so,
made me hungry.
all right. So the biggest thing I see would be regulatory. I mean, you could probably do all the rest of it by June 21st in terms of merging the two. Also, you'd be merging a private and a public company, which might make it a little more complicated. I'm not sure. But the regulatory and getting other countries and stuff to sign off kind of on it, and let them know not to worry, etc. So a lot of handshaking and patting on the back, I think, that's going to need to take place both here and abroad.
I don't disagree with you.
Yeah,
I'm just look, I can't get out of my head what I saw in the All In podcast.
right, right,
And
right.
don't tell me that if there's gonna be investors, Chamath and Jason are going to be investors in it. And if anyone's gonna know anything, I think they're gonna be tangentially in the know.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, in
Like
fact,
it's just yeah.
Jason had just gone on a tour. He'd just gone down and seen the Optimus factory.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah. So I mean, I don't know.
All
I
right. Okay.
I didn't think this until I saw that episode, and
Yeah.
that episode is like,
Mm.
okay.
All right. So the other big thing that people have been talking about is because Gary Black got lots and lots of black ink about it in all kinds of articles, is that he said, "Oh, goodness gracious, how are we ever going to find out the valuation and the what do you call it? Folks that are in Tesla are going to have this dilution, and why would we want that dilution?" And you say,
Hey, what shares does he have? What shares does he control?
Oh, that's right. He's
His
got
fund?
none, right? Well, he has none
Yeah.
person. I don't know. I can't remember exactly. I know he got
Does his
out, but
fund have any? I know Alexander used to always like share or like post all this
yeah,
stuff. I don't know if
yeah,
she still does, but last
yeah.
I checked, he didn't have
Right.
anything.
He's out. Yeah, I think he's out. Yeah.
What we need to sit down, be quiet. You've been wrong for so long. Just stop it. Like go back to Chicago.
So do you think there's an issue with
Nothing
valuation?
against Chicago, Jeff Lutz. Nothing against Chicago. I actually like Chicago a lot, but sit
Do you
down.
think there's any issues with valuation or dilution?
For Tesla?
Yeah.
Um, no, I don't think so. I think that's the short-term thinking. If you're thinking about dilution or people just get so wrapped up thinking about their own self-interest instead of thinking about the bigger picture. Like they can't see more than two steps in front of them. And all they think about, again, is their self-interest. SpaceX, Tesla, and X merging together, getting together, that will be better for everyone. If that happens, assuming it happens, if Elon decides to do that, in my opinion, you shut up and you sit down and you listen to the person who's right over and over. I say it all the time. Listen to people who are right a lot. Okay. And focus on that. I think that's the main thing that people get hung up on. That's why so many people sell at the bottom, buy at the high, right? They think Elon doesn't know what he's talking about, what he's doing. And then next thing you know what? Twitter becomes X, acquires XAI, now it's SpaceX. It's like this guy's thinking ahead. He's been right so often. So stop thinking about your own self-interest and think bigger picture, right? Like it's just people just I don't know what it is, but especially you see a lot in the Tesla community. It's like people will get stuck on like, hey, this one quarter or whatever, these
Yeah.
results. And it's like, who cares about the results? We got cybercaps coming out.
Right. Right.
Like I'm a little guilty of it too. Don't get me wrong. Like
Yeah.
I don't like the way they did their earnings call. Like
Mhm.
I just think they did a bad job. But my main critique is that every time they do a bad job of communication on an earnings call, it's the same issue that they have with getting the message out about FSD.
Right.
And I feel very passionate about FSD because the more people have FSD, the more lives are saved, especially kids.
Yeah.
It's literally every year, number one or number two top
Right.
reasons why toddlers die is car accidents, car crashes, or car injuries.
Right.
And so to me, it's like that, like it's not a self-interest thing. It's I want less kids to die.
Right.
But anyways, I just think worrying about dilution like that, like Gary Black is, he's thinking about himself. He's thinking short term and doesn't see the bigger picture. He can't. It's like he's never been able to. So rant over, but yeah.
All right. So now I'm going. So now, now I'm going to.
Yeah. I ranted so hard.
So now I'm going to take your side. Not
Oh, you
necessarily.
take my side. Let's go. Come on.
Okay. Not necessarily that it'll happen by June or by the time of the IPO, but I'm going to take your side in terms of thinking that this is a slam dunk. That it's going to be that everything that they need is going to line up because they've got the four giant investment banks already involved. We're talking about the investment banks that know where all the bodies are buried. They know how to raise the capital. They know where, I mean, they got it all. Oh, I should start with Elon. Elon now has gone around the world and become friends with like everybody on earth.
Everybody, yeah.
Except for the 3 or 4 people that don't like him, not counting the population of certain countries. But in terms of the leadership of the world, he's already got all these people totally eating out of his hand. Now he gets the 4 big investment banks. They all know how to make the paperwork move and get the regulations solved and get the right, probably 4 people, 3 or 4 people on a committee to do the valuations. And I don't think that's going to be hard at all, but it's got to be done well, and they've got to be above board 100%. I was on a conversation with Brian Wang earlier today. I said, I think Besant, Lutnick, it could be on the valuation. Maybe Warsh they could be the valuation committee.
I would say definitely Lutnick. I mean, he seems like he's there's a problem. Like Elon's good at figuring out unsolvable problems or things that haven't been done.
Yeah.
Lutnick seems really good at okay, this is what you want to do. Let me figure out how we can make it work through the system that exists. He
Right,
seems like he's really good at figuring out the system that is in place
right.
and how to take advantage of it in a legal way, but in a way that other people might not have thought about. It seems like to be a superpower.
Okay. So anyway, I'm thinking that you get your evaluation committee together. You've got all these powerhouse people on these different boards. Or there's, of course, be down to two boards, two, I don't know which CEO, maybe they have to have co-CEOs. I don't know how that's all going to work. But anyway, you're going to have an absolute powerhouse of people to where if Elon really wants to get it done by June 28th, I'm sure he probably could come close.
Are you saying the merger with Tesla or are you just saying the IPO
I'm saying all of
now?
it could happen. All of it could happen.
Yeah. Okay.
I do worry that if it happens that fast, there could be issues with China. We've already got issues with Europe. Um,
Well,
you know,
I don't think there'd be issues with China because, look, at the end of the day, everyone knows it's all Elon, no matter what.
yeah,
So if China had an issue with Tesla, that means they have an issue with Elon.
right,
So if they had an issue with Elon, like SpaceX has been there the whole time,
right.
Starlink's been there the whole time, and something that China's not going to, they're not going to do anything to push out Tesla. They make too many vehicles, they hire too many people, they're growing too much. It's isn't it like the most popular vehicle
Yeah,
in
yeah,
China?
yeah, it is.
In the world, period. Like
And in
most
China,
of the world, yeah, most of the world gets their vehicles from Tesla or that by Teslas come from China. So like they don't want to give that up. That's th- their system of government, whatever you want to call that it is, it's like a hybrid blend of different approaches. But at the end of the day, they are incentivized to keep people working. People need to work. Even if it's not efficient work, even if it's, hey, I move this pile of dirt to there, and you move this pile of dirt there, and then you move this pile of dirt to there, they're incentivized to keep people working. So they're not going to do anything to slow that down. And they're also going through their own issues as a country. So I don't think the SpaceX thing is going to be an issue because even then, within the company, they would still have to be isolated because SpaceX, as a military defense company, which is how they're classified, they can't hire foreign nationals.
right.
All right. So right now, right already, there'd have to be a DMZ between certain departments, certain divisions of the company,
Mm,
regardless. So that DMC would be non-negotiable. Like Amazon has it in AWS, right? AWS has the AWS cloud that everybody uses, but then they also have what they call Gov Cloud, and Gov Cloud is, guess what? Separate. So yeah, I think they'd have to do something like that.
Okay, all right. Is there anything else about the merger that you think is worthy of of more conversation right now? I'm sure we could talk about the merger for hours, but is there any specific thing right now?
Um, no, just I hope it happens because I think that's a more I always like to think about things like this about not like the worst possible outcome.
Mhm.
Like Gary Black could be right. There could be dilution, and it could get complicated and it could be this, last comp package, whatever, all over again, where there's a miss and there's a lawsuit in the future. But I like to think about what can happen by this happening. And like I said, the 1 + 1 = 2 or it's 3, or in this case, 1 + 1 + 1 = 5. You know, I, I'm excited for it. I hope it happens. I really do, because that would be one of the greatest things to live through. Period. So I don't know. I'm here for it.
Okay, we have the next 9, 10 months, 11 months, whatever, is going to be bonkers, just bonkers. Okay. And and
You
and so
you gotta say more. Like in what way? Because I
well,
can take that in different ways.
all the stuff that's going to happen in Tesla and Um, so I'm going to be asking all the co-hosts these same questions. I think we should put them on a spreadsheet and maybe put it up on X and watch and see what happens. So anyway, question number one. When
Oh,
does
okay. All right.
when
I'm
does
not, just so
robo
you guys know, I've had no time to think or prep for
no
these. This is
no
all going to be straight off the dome.
no
I reserve the right to say, "Oh, that was a stupid answer. I meant this." All right, go ahead. Let me ask.
when does robotaxi get seriously rolling? And what is your idea? What does get seriously rolling mean?
Well, that was what I was going to ask you. Define seriously rolling.
Yeah.
Um, to me, seriously rolling would be okay. All right. To me, this is my definition of seriously rolling.
Yes.
All right. In Austin, I'll be able to call a robo taxi. I don't care if it's a cybercab or Model Y, I don't care. I'll be able to call it, and the time to get it to go where I want is the same as Uber, if not better. Plus, it's not an or, it's an and. That plus, we see at least one new city launching and it going through its paces. If I saw that, and then I'll throw one more and on there. We need to see the cyber cab line actually going, because we do know that long term that's going to be what's actually going to drive things. Um, so I would put that one as maybe that could be a or.
Okay.
So the first two are an and then if we get that one or plus one of the other ones, then that counts as well. There we go. That's my
All right.
answer.
So when?
Oh, so one. Um, May 30th, 3:55 p.m. Eastern.
End of May.
Just wait. May 30th, 3:55 p.m. Eastern. You guys watch Tesla, watch what the stock does at that time. You'll
Okay.
see.
Wait.
He frantically checks, is that even if that's a weekend or not?
Yeah.
Oh, it's a weekend. Damn
Oh,
it.
oh,
Hey, still, watch what happens.
May. Wait,
30th.
how am I supposed to type at this angle?
I,
May. Oh, this is terrible.
first
Well,
world problems.
I'm going to have to just go back and look, I guess. May.
Yay. Very good.
Yeah.
Guys, we've been
30
working on that one.
at 3 what? 55
55 p.m. Eastern.
p.m. Okay, I've got it. Okay, second.
I'm just gonna text you on May 30th at 3:55. I'm just gonna text you randomly. Told you. And you're like, what?
When does so you don't think it'll happen before that? You don't think you'll be able to get a car in Austin without a driver in 6 minutes or whatever before May 30th?
Well, no, that's not what I said. That's my latest.
That was the and. Oh, that's the
That's
latest.
my latest. Yeah,
What's the
that's my
early?
latest.
What do you think? When do you think it will happen as opposed to the latest?
Why you got it? Why are you locking me in like this? What is this? You do this to everyone or just me? April 13th.
April 13th. That's when it happens. All right.
Well, I'm sticking with May 30th, but if you're
No, no,
gonna
no.
ask me when could it, I'm gonna say April 13th.
All right. When does the 1 million Optimus unit line start actual, production? Not like one or two, but actually the line is working and you're getting, even if it's only 100 a week or whatever, it's actually going.
May 30th, 2027.
Okay. 5:30. I can't do anything with this angle. It is driving me crazy.
I thought I was making it easy for you by using the same day too.
5/30/27.
Just a
Hey,
considerate guy like
got
that.
it. All right. Okay. When does unsupervised become widely available? Not like one city, but widely available.
February
Wow.
2028.
What? February 2/28. Oh, I hope not, but I'll probably need it by then. I'll be so old I won't be able to. Anyway, when does the air? Now, this one, apparently, you think this is going to be a really long time too, because when does the Airbnb version of Robotaxi start?
No, that's different.
Well, it is. I guess you could have
That's
Airbnb
different.
version and not have what do you call it, unsupervised, but so
Um,
you can only do it with a passenger, not with yourself. So then you pick yourself up as a passenger.
well, I can explain like my reasoning if
Go
you
ahead.
want,
Yeah,
but
sure.
let me answer the question
Okay.
first.
Okay.
I think I'll say February 2027.
Okay. 2/27. Okay. So go ahead
I
and
think that's when they'll start to like let like maybe a couple do it. I think that's when. My rationale for why you would have the Airbnb version of FSD or of robotaxis before everybody gets FSD unsupervised is because the question is who's behind the wheel and if you're allowed to be behind the wheel. And if Randy is sitting behind the wheel, passed out, sleeping, whatever, and then he just moves funny and steps on the brake, or all of a sudden hits the steering wheel and it moves, like what happens then? That's one. Two, I think wherever you're gonna have robo taxis, you're gonna have extra set of eyes on
Mhm.
those vehicles specifically, so from the command center. So that's a layer of logistics that will be there for robo taxis, but I don't think it'll be there for everybody driving FSD unsupervised at their own whim. So I think those are the two gating factors for it to go wide.
Okay. All right. Okay. When do we break ground on the solar fab?
Solar Fab. Not happening. That's my answer.
Not going to happen.
Yeah.
Never. All right. When do we break ground on the chip fab?
Um, 2027.
2027. Sometime in 2027.
Yeah.
Okay. Oops. What percentage to fab? 27. Okay. When do we know how Tesla and wait, when do we know how Tesla and SpaceX will merge or not?
Oh, how they will or whether they will?
Whether they will is, I mean, I think maybe I'm talking more about whether they will. When do we know, when do they give us kind of a final answer? Nah, we're not going to do that. Or yeah, here's the
These are
deal.
hard questions. Like
I know.
because I haven't had the time to really like contemplate what I think. Um,
I know. You can,
before Elon's birthday.
okay.
It's the best I can do.
No, I got it. I got it. I got it. Yeah, yeah,
We
yeah.
don't have a lot of time between now and then.
That's true. Before 6/28. Okay. All right. That's all on that list. Okay. Now I want to talk about, did you read about today? Trump homes. You know, there's a
Uh,
guy,
Like,
what I forget, always forget his name because you can't pronounce his last name and I keep forgetting his first name. The guy that's the CEO of Uber.
oh, I almost said Dario.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
why are you doing that
Anyway,
to me?
I
If you would
really,
have just asked me, I would have known it.
yeah. What I really like
Uh,
about this guy,
Dara.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Dario is the CEO of Anthropic. Dara.
Dara, yeah. So what I really like about this guy is he's such a deal maker, and he's just like always out there negotiating. He's got put another deal together this weekend. I forget what it was exactly. I think trucking. Yeah, trucking. He's got some
Hmm.
Canadian trucking company. So he's got all these deals going. Some of them are not going to work, and some of them are. But I just think he's really bright. I think I think Trump is like that. I think that's one of the things I like about Trump. He's always got a deal going. He always sees it in terms of a business deal. So he announced today that somebody announced today that he's working with like a bunch of different home builders. and they're going to build a bunch of Trump homes. So as opposed to,
Dara is?
no, not Dara, home builders.
Oh.
So he's met, I was just using that as a
Oh, okay.
comparison, the
You
deal maker. So Trump, instead of trying to pass a bill, instead of trying to, you know, force the deal, or try to have the government build them, he's talking to the home builders and he's saying, hey, I need this to happen. How are we going to get, I don't know, whatever his number is. Let's say it's 400,000 homes. So how can we get 400,000 homes built in the next 12 months that are under $3,500 or 35,000, 350,000?
to say that's called inflation. What you just did there.
Yeah. So how do we get 400,000 homes? Maybe some of them are even 250,000, or in fact, there could be neighborhoods where they will only be 150,000. So I thought that was pretty cool that he's talking to the home builders to try to get that done. What do you think? I know
I
you're,
think that's what you should do. Go to the source. I don't like all this middleman stuff.
yeah,
Cut it out.
cut out the middleman. All right. So do you think it's possible? Do you think that these guys can
Oh
make it?
yeah.
Okay. And do you
I
think,
think it's absolutely possible. I think that now the part that may not be possible. All right, with every give, there's a take, right? So if you want those prices, if someone wants to buy a house that's going to be built at those prices, not that I think the home builders can't build affordable houses,
Mhm.
and I don't mean like low income houses. I mean
Right,
like
right,
houses that are affordable to
right.
in that range. But you're not going to get them near a city center. You're
No,
just not,
yeah,
right? If you're not going to get it where you can just walk to work. Not happening. You're probably going to have to commute to work 40, 50 minutes. Like
mhm,
that's just the reality. And that's, we see that in Texas, all over Austin. All these communities are so far away from Austin, but
right,
they're flourishing. They have their own like little township, town centers, and but Austin's like the main city there, and then same with Dallas, San Antonio, and Houston. So I definitely think it's possible. I mean, you see it happen in Texas, but you need to have the right location, and I do think you need to be at least within an hour of some type of city where people can actually have decent paying jobs. But between that, where that city is and wherever those towns would be built, there's a lot of jobs that have to be added to sustain everything that's there. So I definitely think it's possible. And if you think about it, when it comes to a house, like especially if you want to make it cost effective, you, you pour a slab, you stick frame it, you put some siding, you put some roof, plumbing, electrical, you know, uh, a lot of these materials now for tile and flooring, LVT, quartz countertops are nice. Like you can do all this pretty cost effective.
right.
I think so. Yeah, I definitely think it's possible. It's just I think a lot of people. I think a lot of people have they want their cake and eat it too at now. You know, we talk about this.
We did.
Yeah. So
Yeah, yeah. Well, I totally agree. But of course, whenever I say this on X, I'm called a boomer, which is
well, you are a boomer.
becoming the slant the greatest slight that you could possibly give to anybody. Is that
You're like, oh no, I have money.
yeah, that's right.
No.
Are you going to spend all of May in Hawaii? I don't know. Okay. All right. So, what else?
Where do you go in Hawaii?
I
Where do
go.
you go?
We have a very special place. It's on Kauai. It's out overlooking Princeville.
Okay.
We have about 100 and almost 180, maybe just right around 180-degree ocean view, because it's on the end of a little what would you call that? Not a peninsula exactly, but same idea.
Okay.
So we're
Like a point. Yeah.
like a point. So we got the view going in both directions, and
Is it a
sun up.
condo?
It's a
A
townhouse.
house?
Well,
Townhouse?
yeah, it's a townhouse because there's no, there's people upstairs, so it's a condo.
What do you do when you're not there? Does it just sit, or do you rent it out, or
Oh, no, no,
do
we
you?
don't own it. No, we don't own it. No,
Oh,
I
is
was
it
joking.
timeshare?
No, no, I just pay for it. I have a deal with them now.
Oh, okay.
I've been there for like 3 years in a row, so I get
Okay.
special pricing. But the funny
Uh,
part is, I was joking about this one day. This is like a 800 square foot place, right? It doesn't have nearly as nice of amenities as my home does. And
mm,
we spend, you know, $8,000 a month for it.
yeah.
Just for the view, is basically what you're paying for.
I mean,
The weather, the place.
yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, it's pretty funny. We'll spend $8,000 a month for 800 square feet or whatever.
All right. Well,
Yeah,
when you're there, I want to, like, I know we've been on when you're in
yeah,
Hawaii
yeah.
before, but I don't think you've given me the view. Like, you just talked
Oh,
up this view.
yeah.
I want to see it.
Okay, yeah, sure.
You should have it in the background whenever you're recording.
Well, it's a little hard because it's the wrong way. Anyway, it's one of those deals where the lighting isn't right. But
I think we could figure it out.
I might be able to find a way. We'll see if I can find a
All
way.
right. All right. Sorry
Uh,
for the tangent, everybody. I just,
yeah, yeah, yeah. But you're all interested in that, right?
yeah, I am. I don't know. We're friends. So, yeah, I am.
Okay, so what else happened today that we didn't cover?
Bitcoin is struggling. I don't know if you want to talk about that already,
I'll be
but
happy. What do you think? Tom Lee doesn't know what to say.
well, I think he still thinks what he thinks. Um, you know, I'm pulling it up here. It's I mean it's not good for the markets. I mean, I don't know. Is it just a signal? Is it like any other indicator at this point, or is it bad for the markets? That's a hard one to tell. But I'll tell you what's probably not good for the whole Bitcoin narrative. And I don't know if I said this last week or oh no, I said it on my Sunday little
Oh,
video that I did spontaneously. Uh yeah, anyways, Bitcoin, whenever everything was going up, people were talking like, "Oh, it trades like a tech company now," right?
right,
Well, it hasn't been.
right.
And then whenever, gold and silver started going up because people were worried about whatever the narrative is that they were worried about, gold and silver have, I don't know if anyone's noticed, but
Yeah.
they kind of been on a run. Bitcoin hasn't participated in that either. So it's it's not acting like a fiat uh, substitute or hedge. It's not acting or playing with the tech companies. So it's a little lost. I think I told you this last week or 2 weeks ago. I told you I think people are over Bitcoin,
Could be, and or
at
it
least
could
for
be.
now.
So one of the things that might have been Tom Lee this morning. It might have been him saying this. He says he thinks that are over it right now because of the October flash crash, and that they lost confidence in Bitcoin because of that. So might be a while before that confidence is rebuilt.
I mean, yeah, I wouldn't doubt that. But I will say, just to, I don't know, I guess keep things on a level playing field, um, it's not like Tesla has necessarily either been, I don't know, the best proxy. We're literally, let me see, where are we here? Um, we are we are $2 above where we were trading at essentially all-time highs October of 2021. So like just to put things in perspective, without, I have no problem, kind of not making fun of, but like criticizing Bitcoin or just my thoughts on it. But again, if I look at Tesla in 2021, it was at 417, and here we are right now sitting at 419. So I don't know.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's hard to criticize it.
So
Meanwhile, you look at Nvidia, you look at Micron, Meta, Apple, Google, Palantir. You could have been all in on any of those and had better returns than you had with Tesla since 2021.
right,
That's
right,
just
right.
honest truth.
Yeah, yeah. So I'm sure you've heard me say it. I believe that all of the peaks in Tesla, including the one this year, are all around robotaxi. Every single one of them.
Mhm.
It's really what people were buying. They were buying the robotaxi story because you do the math for 5 minutes and you can see, where it's going. Even if it's not close, even if it doesn't get close to Cathie Wood's numbers, it's still going to be massive. And it's just
Oh, I
getting
agree.
and it's even getting better and better. I did a show the other day. This is something that I'll pass along to you. Maybe some of the people listening haven't heard me talk about this. The battery, the verticality now in the battery line, Grok and I had a conversation about it. That's $2,000 off the batteries per car between what's happening in Corpus Christi, what's happening with the dry cathodes, and what's happening with the 4680 line. Might even
But
be more than $2,000 a car.
how much of that has already been recognized?
No, I'm sure they haven't. You mean that Tesla's already lowered the cost or created a more better margins? I don't think.
I mean, margins went up.
Yeah, I don't think there's very much of that because Corpus Christi is barely starting to ramp, and
Yeah.
the tricathode just starting to ramp. So I mean, it's even behind Corpus Christi a little bit. And the 4680s, I think they're doing pretty well, but that isn't even the biggest part. The biggest part is the dry cathodes.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's huge. So that's about 2 grand. Then you've got the what do you call it? The semi trucks. Again, I had this long conversation with Grok, and if Tesla decides to put the semi trucks everywhere they can, picking up raw materials, and now this they have to be autonomous too, but picking up raw materials to bring to the factories, inter-factory transmission of batteries and whatnot, and then shipping out final product. Oh, and picking up any other, you know, tires, components, whatever.
Yeah. That's far away though. I don't think that's
Before
close.
it's autonomous or before they start using their own trucks.
Before it's autonomous. So they're already using their own trucks. We know
I
that.
mean, I mean, like lots of them. So the autonomous is of course the big part of this, but it's another $2,000 a vehicle.
Yeah.
Once they go autonomous, it'll be 2,000. Then you got once you put the Optimus in the factories, that's another $1,000 a vehicle. So you got a situation where most people think that the Cybercab is right around 18,000. I think it's 16. Other people are in the same, around that ballpark. Now take 5,000 off of that a year from now, um, and you could be looking at out the door $11,000.
Yeah. That'd be kind of crazy if those numbers hold up. Yeah.
Right. All right. So okay. What about the numbers? We've talked about a lot of the numbers. What do you think happens with Tesla next? What is the what do you call it? The charts tell us.
I don't think you want me to answer that.
I
Uh,
yeah, I want you to look. I have
I mean,
you
again, I'm
and
not.
Brian. You and Brian are the
Yeah,
only ones who, watch well, that's not
I
true.
yeah. Don't I again? We talk about this every time. I don't. I wouldn't
Yeah, I
say
know.
I'm not a technical guy or anything like that.
Yeah, but you know it.
I just
Good.
look at. I just look at it and I just make an opinion.
Yes.
Um, right now, I think Tesla's in a little bit of trouble if it doesn't get its act together before the end of the week.
Ah. And what does act together mean?
Means we need to be back up into like the 440s
Okay. Okay.
at bare minimum like 430s.
Okay.
Have to. If
Okay.
not, I think this momentum continues down to next stop 390.
Yep.
So
Yep.
we
390.
got to
Yep.
see what happens this week. I mean,
Okay.
what's your Brian guy saying?
Oh, no, I don't know about this week, but I did a quick look at the charts myself, doing it my way, and I came up with exactly your numbers.
I did it my
I
way.
have my anyway, whether it's any good or not, I have 420, 100%. It's really, really and it's proven to be a real floor. And if it breaks significantly below that and closes below that, I think we go to 390. 100%. It's exactly where I came out.
What's new? Nick and
Yeah,
Randy agree.
yeah. It is. That I think it's new. All right. So after that, and I'm okay if it goes to 390 this week, because remember, I'm going to be plowing a little bit more money in, so it'll be good. As long as it goes back up.
Yeah.
All right, let's see
Yeah.
here.
I mean, look again. I do like honestly. I think there's a lot of noise in the market right now. I think the market's been very resilient. If I'm being honest, like I know people probably don't like looking at Tesla, but in general, I think the market's been pretty resilient through January. January was not a great month.
Yeah,
Tesla was down almost 5%.
yeah,
S&P was
what's up?
decent. It was up 1% something, which normally that's a good sign
Yeah,
for what's to come in the year.
yeah.
But I think, I mean, there's been a lot of volatility in January. And I think the market held up pretty decently in general. So I, we'll see. I mean, I don't know how many more punches the market can take before it's like it falls to its knees versus like, hey, like I need to get to my corner and take a break. So hopefully this round is coming to an end so we can just get a sip of water and catch our breath. But it's been hanging in there.
How much do you think of the volatility of the last few days and the bond market going up has been a wash impact?
I think the majority of it was, yes.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah,
Because
I mean, that's pretty much what I said in my video, right? I think, well, it's not even just that. There's a confluence of things, but I would say like that was kind of like the main one. But there's a domino effect, right? And that's kind of what I was saying was that with Warsh being announced, that was not the move that many had thought Trump was going to do. Right? They thought he was going to pick a person who was very clearly a political pick. But Trump wouldn't have done that because, or well, I mean, I don't say he wouldn't have. Like everyone thought he was going to, but it probably wouldn't have gotten through. Um, so once Warsh was announced, and it's not a guarantee, or maybe he's seen a little more as an independent from being a shill for the White House. Gold dropped, silver dropped.
right.
You had huge, yeah, you had huge margin requirements immediately. Not just because of that, but as they were going up, margin requirements start to increase that people needed to have to hold those positions. Those positions tank. All right. What happens when those tanks and you have margin calls? You start selling your stock. You start selling your Bitcoin to cover your margin loan now, right? And so as all that was happening, what's happening? It's an unwind from the expectation of cheap money,
Hmm.
right? And that's why I think everything has really been going up because everyone thinks that the U.S. is going to start the printer press all over again, and this is a hedge against that, especially with our debt levels and everything going on. That's not the only reason I think gold's been going up. I also think all these other countries around the world are buying it up, and they're China's clearly making a play to try to get off the dollar standard, and I think they're trying to make their currency the no pun intended gold standard of currency. But you got to keep in mind with gold going up, the U.S. also has more assets than ever as a country,
Right.
right? Because we supposedly, at least, we have a lot of gold. Anyways, so that's kind of how I think of all that. So yes, Warsh, but selecting Warsh created this domino effect that led to prices dropping, margin calls, having to sell to cover the margin call, right? So it's not that it was Warsh, it's that what does that mean?
Yeah.
So
Yeah. And
sorry for the long explanation,
and,
but
and
that's the
I've
thinking.
I've reported on this at least once, maybe twice already, but I'd love to hear your take. I feel like the biggest thing that Warsh has said in all the stuff I've watched him so far is we are now going to have the end of bad news is good news and good news is bad news. He's not going to cripple the economy when it's just a go-go economy, unless there's some inflationary problems that he's seeing. It's going to be, no, if the economy wants to go. Because usually a
Yeah.
great economy is deflationary. And vice versa, he's not going to just lower rates because there's a little bit of softness. It's going to be, we need to see where does this softness come from? It's like we've had this softness in housing for 3 years, but the rest of the economy's been fine.
I mean, I'll tell you what's the maybe scarier thing. I just pulled it up just to make sure it hasn't changed. And Trueflation still has us at 0.98%.
Yep,
0.98%.
I know.
That means that what the Fed is seeing is 3 times higher
Right,
than that.
right.
That's what they think they're seeing. And I'm not saying that this means Trueflation is correct 100%, but that's a big delta between Trueflation and what is being reported.
Huge delta.
And we know the lag effects, and we know Trueflation gets way more data points in
Right.
real time.
Yeah.
And there's something to be said for, real time data consistently can be noisy, kind of like looking at a stock, right?
Right.
It can be noisy, but at the same time.
Yeah. Now, if you're looking at literally hundreds of thousands of food and goods and whatnot products from Costco, from Kroger, from all these guys online, so it's right there. You don't have to go searching for it. You don't need a clipboard down at the grocery store to do this anymore. Fed anyway. If you've got all that data coming in, to a certain extent, you would expect that this lumpiness would go away because you're talking about so many products. And their goods inflation right now is also at 1%.
Unpopular opinion, and I know I've talked about this with you many times, and of course you and I agree, so you're going to agree with me again because, well, why would you disagree with yourself? But I think all the tariffs have and are extremely deflationary. If that's like saying higher taxes causes people to spend more money. So it's like, even if you think that the tariffs are a tax, if that's truly your position, okay, I'll grant you that. But then you can't tell me that a tax is inflationary. That means things are getting more expensive. So how is that inflationary? If things cost more, people spend less.
Right.
Right. Like, for inflation to happen, people have to spend more money.
Right.
So
and they have to spend more money on the taxable items, not on
exactly.
Yeah.
So it's math don't math.
That's right. All right. Well, bonds, unfortunately, are part of this whole mess. And so they're up another 0.5 at 4.28. And but that's just, it apparently is because of wash. Well, the jump from the 419, 420 range back up to 4.28, that seems to be a wash problem. Oil up a little after being down, and natural gas up a little after being down, but right in the kind of the middle of their ranges. But now gold and silver rebounded today. So you've got silver up 3.38% and gold up 2.02% in the pre-market after going up earlier. So it's really significant on gold. Like, I forget how much it was, like 5 or 6% earlier. So do you think that based on what because you and I don't probably have any knowledge of gold or silver markets, but we both have understanding of markets. So you've got this parabolic thing, then you've got this other side of the parabola, and then you got a little bit of an upturn. Do you think the upturn's just like a what do you call it, a dead cat bounce, or what do you think?
Well, just real quick on oil, just
okay.
Isn't it kind of incredible how it's remained right where I told you it would be all this time? Like, it's like it won't go below that.
Below
I
63.
think
Oh, it was 57.
yeah,
It was 57.
I told you around 60
Yeah.
is where, and we have not.
Yeah.
Yeah. But as far as gold, I don't know. I haven't been looking at the charts on it or anything like that. But I will say, when you see these erratic moves, it does. I haven't even looked at it, so I have no idea. But I imagine that the spreads are getting wider because market makers need to protect themselves.
Right.
So I I think that also increases the volatility of this. So I don't know where we go from here. Uh some people are calling for 7,000 on gold. Some people are calling 6,000 on gold.
Right.
Um, we'll see. There's just a lot of noise happening, like I said, to start this year off, and I think the market's holding up pretty good. The fact that the stock market is still hanging in there, and gold's done what it's done, and Bitcoin's just done the inverse. It's kind of incredible. I mean, it goes to show you that I say this frequently that we don't know anything. Like even if you thought you knew something, you don't know anything because you wouldn't know what to do with that information.
Right.
So like if I told you, hey, this is what CPI is going to come out tomorrow, like, okay, well, what do? You don't know, right? Because is it good news, bad news, good news, or is good news, and bad news? Like that, Warsh comes out and it's like, oh, didn't see that one coming,
Yeah.
right? So it's like you never really know it, and I would say that's true like 95% of the time. Few times I don't agree with that sentiment is when you have
Uh,
experience or have used something like FSD.
yeah.
I think that's asymmetric information
Right.
because it's not that people don't know. It's like, yeah, we can tell people all day, but you don't really get it till you've used it and you use it consistently.
Right.
Then you're like, oh, and there's such a big bar to entry to get to that. So, anyways, yeah, those are my thoughts.
All right. Well, we've got the equities tomorrow looking pretty flat after being pretty much down today. And Bitcoin we already talked about. So I commonly give you an opportunity to imbue us with one last wise comment.
Let me imbue you guys. You know what I'm gonna do after this call?
What are you gonna do
And I
after?
recommend that everybody else do this too. I'm gonna look up the word imbue. I understand what it means in the context, but I don't actually know what it means. So I'm gonna go look this up to enhance my vocabulary.
There
And
you go.
so my last thought there is when you hear a word that you don't know, but you understand the context, go look it up. Enhance your vocabulary and be humble and admit you don't know things.
You know what? I'm going to go one step further. That has always been something that I like to do. I love the dictionary. I love looking stuff up. But now we've gone to the next level. It's like everything that pops up into your opportunity during the day, and you're like, hey, Grok.
Yeah, I know. I'm so guilty of that.
Like, oh my God.
It's not just me; it's my wife too. We're both constantly talking to
Yeah.
our phones. It's hilarious too. Oh, Tesla's
What?
okay.
A little run and
Tesla
then,
no, well, not run, but 420. That's good.
oh, okay.
Um, but yeah, we're constantly talking to Grok. And you know what? It's a happy day in this household. My wife told me that she officially deleted ChatGPT off her phone. She's using Grok, so we'll see. Hopefully, she doesn't bounce back. So much drama with Sam Altman. We should have talked a little bit about that.
Oh,
But
well,
he's that. I look. I said this. Geez, a while ago now.
yeah.
OpenAI is not going to last. They're not going to last as a company. They are just everything's falling apart for them. It's a shame, but they did it to themselves. They you know what happened? They just cared about themselves, and Sam Altman was just doing everything for himself and not thinking about the bigger picture of things.
Yeah. So, Sam, don't sue me, but I've never liked you very much. All right. That's all we got for today. Thank you, Nicholas Gibbs, as always. Now, does everybody call you Nick Gibbs the Younger now, or is that just me?
Just you. I've never even heard someone say that.
Oh, really? Oh,
I mean, I know what you're referring to, but
okay.
yes, I've never heard. Yeah.
Yeah. It's been great talking to you.